afternoon. As Topher already said, we spoke yesterday a bit about the future of DX Cloud. Today, it's really more about the underlying infrastructure. That's then actually Sebastian, Seb, as we call him. He will speak then about the infrastructure part. My part today is really giving you a quick overview about the cloud strategy 2026 and beyond, and then show you, I think it's three significant features that we launched in the cockpit in the past few weeks. So if you already work with the cockpit, you will see some of those neat features that we developed. Good. The cloud strategy 2026 and beyond. So it's really about extending our offering. So we hear our customers. They request this data governance. So we are working on our own data center strategy out of Switzerland. But we are as well working on a EU-based cloud offering. So this will then be managed from Germany, and they have their own CDN and WAF. So if you have customers that want to have the data solely in Europe, this is something we can now provide as well. And of course, that's something we talked over the past few years as well. We have this China offering. We started on Tencent as a hoster, and then moved on to Aliyun, Ali Cloud on Alibaba, because it's a much better offering. We can plug in all our automation standards as well in China. Then something I mentioned yesterday already is the managed cloud. I think Christian Menzel already talked about this briefly today. So it's a managed service. We take care of the infrastructure. We take care of the application updates. It's based on our proven platform as a service infrastructure. We have server-side rendering or templating and headless development. And those hands-free updates, I think that's really going to be a change for customers. And then in terms of offering, so we are expanding the offering. It's really a bit a wrap-up of yesterday. So we have this new DX Cloud headless offering that we are launching towards Q3, end of the year. So we basically introduced this offering based on multi-tenant infrastructure to reduce costs with the idea of initial land and expand. So you start small, you expand. There is a seamless upgrade path to a single tenant offering, which we have with PaaS and the managed cloud. So you can really start small with small POCs and then extend into larger enterprise scale projects. Until we have this SaaS enterprise ready, hopefully then somewhere early mid next year. If we talk about deployment strategy, I already mentioned it yesterday. We want to actually make our whole setup that we use on DX Cloud available to on-prem customers as well. So that's why we are moving away from Helm chart-based approach. We developed small operators that replace those Helm chart commands. So we own the operator. So you guys, the partners, customers don't need to take care of updating Helm charts. So we take care of those things, which should bring ease of mind to you as well. And yeah, this unlocks quite a lot of things. If we have those three deployment options, we start with, on the right-hand side, the DX Cloud. As you might already know it, our PaaS architecture or infrastructure, dedicated or shared. So we can manage the application, and customers and partners have full access to our Cloud Cockpit. Then the private cloud, or also known as on-premise offering. So since we are making our operators available to on-prem customers as well, they can actually run the whole setup the same way as we run it on DX Cloud. So with the Magnolia license, we basically ship those operators to you and your customers as well. And then basically they can host, of course, the website, the whole code on their own infrastructure. They have the full control, the full ownership still. They manage the application and the cockpit. Because we are moving to this operator-based approach, the cockpit can be installed on their own infrastructure as well. And then we meet in the middle with the hybrid cloud. This is something completely new. So infrastructure can be hosted on the customer's infrastructure or on Magnolia's infrastructure. So one of the examples would be you manage all the data on your own infrastructure, and then we have certain microservices as the, let's say, the imaging service that we are working on. That can be run on Magnolia's infrastructure. So all the heavy resource consuming things you can outsource to us. We will take care, maintain of this infrastructure and what is running on this infrastructure. And the data parts can be run on the customer's infrastructure. So we make this split. This can be obviously done in various ways. And there as well, either you manage the application or we do the application management. And of course, access to the Cloud Cockpit is there guaranteed as well. So if we move to the Cloud Cockpit, I have three features. So we launched the Insights app. So this is really based on traffic analysis. So we go into the CDN, so customers that are using Fastly as a CDN, they get now a large variety of insights. So we have the traffic numbers, requests over time. Then if we scroll further down, we have the traffic over time. So you can really see those traffic spikes as well and go deeper into it. So we actually see on the traffic details which are the top paths. Which domains or which URLs consume the most traffic. So we have a bunch of customers. They had MP4 files generating terabytes of traffic. So they had overages. So with this tool, we actually were able to get in touch with them and say, hey, you need to optimize your videos. And then traffic origin, so you can basically see we have the geo-routing as well, so you can log in traffic to, let's say, only Frankfurt. That would be possible as well. But you see how the traffic is distributed over the whole continent. Then another app, that's the health app. Let's quickly pause, if that's possible. No, it's not possible. We released that this morning. Oh, that's the next one. Sorry about that. Health app. At least the videos run smooth today. So the health app you can find under global features. We do a bunch of checks and we apply a health score. So we have performance, deployment, security, domain, and some other checks that we do based on your subscription, and we apply a health score. So that's the health score of our own corporate website. So we see the healthy checks, the warnings, and the errors. So we do approximately 120 checks. So you can really see if, I think we go into the performance in just a second. So you can really see if you go into the details, we have 5 errors on the performance side. So you can see, okay, we do the checks on the CDN level, Ingress level, and Magnolia level, and you can see the CDN cache hit ratio is very poor. So we strive for 80%. The customer only has 67.5%. That's how the score is calculated. If the customer would go above this 80%, they actually would get a better score. Then we have this, what is this feature? So we explain what this check does. And immediately you can see what you can do about it to optimize, in this case, the cache hit ratio. So we want to really enforce that you try to solve the stuff yourself, and if you well hit a roadblock, then you can contact our support as well, and we are obviously happy to help. Then the new log viewer that was requested from a lot of customers and developers. So we did a revamp not only on the backend side but on the front-end side as well. We plugged in a new tool that actually gives us now the capabilities of showing logs over quite a lot of a huge time frame. So we have a lot of filters that you can select, and you can dive into the logs itself. And then if you basically have the error that you want to check, you have the whole log details in there. So I guess if you know the log viewer from 12 months ago and what we have today, so a huge shift in not only tooling that we can provide for developers, but also from a UX and UI perspective. And with that, I'm happy to hand over to Seb to talk about the changes on the infrastructure.
Yeah, thank you, Lucas. Yeah, so my name is Seb. I said one of the lead architects, especially in the DX Cloud world. So I will just extend a bit on what Lucas just said. So we heard a lot about the cockpit, what we did not say yet. Back end restore will come back. Finally, yay. Yeah, I know it took some time. I'm even more happy that then it's not only one case we cover now, but it's instead 3 that you then can soon be accessed through. I'd like to start from the left because it's all actually a bit aligned, because the first one is like snapshot based, which is called Velero backup, or Velero we use underneath. The point here is really like to take snapshot of volumes, but also like include the Kubernetes state. So if you're a DX Cloud customer on us, you of course have a lot of manifests and stuff around, so Velero will take care of that. We use it actually for years, and it really helps me to sleep better ever since it's been implemented for all of our customers. The cool thing here is it's really like a set snapshot based. It's also a CSI native, so we use the cloud. So it's agnostic, but every cloud provider provides these kind of CSI interfaces on Kubernetes. So yeah, we can have snapshot restores of databases and whatnot in second. It's also the tool we use for these legacy migrations that we call from, for example, an old to a new AWS infrastructure we migrated some customers on. So it's a pretty neat tool, but it's mostly like scheduled or on demand when we do it. The other thing is what I call app-based or database-based backups. It's the one that you know already. It's like basically successing the Magnolia backup as it is today. Don't get me wrong, Magnolia backup is working quite well. It's fine. It's just the way that it's implemented now with the Helm, it's, let's say, like very error-prone sometimes, or can be if handled not directly, because you need to get the bundles, you need to update the Helm values and whatnot, and then you need to ensure the data is being removed before. Otherwise, it's not being related. So long story short, it's much better with CPG. It's also catching a bit up of what we saw from Christian Menzel earlier. So that is pretty nice and solid tool now to use, and we want to extend that. That's a very crucial point here. And what it also makes easier, it's actually hot news I just got from today. So today, it's also the last DX Cloud Postgres 11 database was updated to, I think, 18 now. So all of the customers are now 15 and above, which is great. But also here, CMPG is helping us, where we in the past would have like had to do custom application logic basically with safeguards and whatever. So it's much better. So that's that. And what's also new is basically what we basically call Pacman with a short name, like the package manager module. I'd like to give a short shout out here to, because it's also in the audience, Jochen from BASF and his people. I think they started with highly influenced, at least, using that and extending or having an extensive workload using basically JCR Vault to what it does in the end, like package workspaces, assets, whatever you want, and yeah, pack it as part of like the JCR capabilities and export it, import it. Because this is a very common use case we have, right? Like you have some production environment and you want to put some content down, or the other way around, and you not always want to have the full database like in the middle here. So that is definitely something which will come. Don't pin me down on it. It's definitely supported for 6.4, I think even down to 6.2, but as that, that's pretty cool. The next thing is obviously Ingress to Gateway API. One thing I'd like to clear up before going into it, so there is still a lot of confusion sometimes. So when talking Ingress and Gateway API, those are both Kubernetes terms. Ingress API is about to stay probably forever, but there is also Gateway API, which is just some enhancement on the API definition model of Kubernetes, right? We also sent out some non-notification. Unfortunately, not everybody moved to basically or prepared to move to our Magnolia Ingress. I'll talk about in a sec. But what we anyway wanted to do, hey, I think everybody who is working with Kubernetes was a bit cold feeted when, like, I think last year someone, which was actually the de facto standard in the Kubernetes world for Ingress, the Ingress-Nginx project said, hey, we stopped the support. We are more or less 3 core maintainers, 2 of them, I think, in South America, and they say, hey, we cannot just handle it, even though it's a de facto standard. You have 6 months to migrate to something else. As said, the Ingress is not going to die, but Ingress-Nginx itself reached that end of life. And what we said, and hey, then let's use this opportunity to also go to the new Gateway API model. Why? Also because we have more and more requests, especially now in the AI age, but also the way to support more hostings on our platform to also have, say, like extended support beyond HTTPS. Or, I mean, you can TCP and UDP host on cloud load balancers also through Ingress-Nginx, but in the end, it's still a web proxy. And if you want to have support, for example, for gRPC, that's not possible. Traffic or load sharing, that's also not possible. So these are the kind of cool features which come with Gateway API. What is, of course, on the downside, and I think that's also in the project definition, which also blocks us or blocked us in a way, because we had to wait. There's also, of course, more complexity a bit. Where you had on the left side here, basically everything you need, a domain, a certificate, headers, whatever you needed in one definition, is now split it up. So it's more kind of complex. That was also the initial idea of Gateway API, right? But what we wanted to do is we want to still have it in the self-service, and that's also why we encourage everybody to use this Magnolia Ingress abstraction. So this is one of our operators which is working on this definition. So we can basically do the hard work for you, like this transition. And of course, I remember being in this room last year at the Dev Days, highly requested from you or from a lot of you was, hey, can we like to use this new Ingress, but can we also make it IAC compatible? Like we generate something with code, all the definitions. I don't know, I have 100x domains. I do not want to manage them by hand. Can we do that as well? And of course, that is still possible. Yeah, and that is also what our migration strategy is. As I said, we're still waiting for everybody to move it over. We still have our, let's say, like early adopters being ready with us. So I guess we'll start soon. But what was important to us that we can really ensure that we have a very seamless one-on-one mapping. So also all the features, which of course are cool on Ingress-Nginx, like header modifications, buffer size, whatever you name it, to have these as well in the same way in our abstraction model, but also supported on Envoy, which is then our successor or Gateway API load balancer. I come to that later again. Lucas already said, like we had the idea for long, and I think also here we are now on this place where it now really comes to life. We want to change the way to deploy Magnolia. Again, same with the backup. There's nothing entirely wrong with using Helm. It's just also in operations we very often see them drift, and it's hard. We change something, maybe even like in an operational way to say like mitigate some attack or traffic flow or improve things, and then it accidentally gets overwritten again. So it's always a bit of coordination required. What would make it easier, and I'd like to focus you on the one in the middle, the environment operator, is we said, hey, why don't we take all the parameters, all the things we need, and mainly also the Magnolia image itself, and say, hey, let's just pack that together. Let's pull that from you so you can only build Magnolia, focus on that, and all the batteries you need to include, and we just ship that with our operator, which also enables us then to ensure that it runs smoothly on the platform. With that, it of course also comes with some other things that we usually need. We need databases. Again, CMPG would then be something. The Ingress operator I just talked about, to ensure that you can reach it from the outside. Plus also more and more requesting now imaging or also caching. Like if you want to have like a Redis or Firefly cache or whatever. Also, and that's then in the other bubbles here, what also comes more and more is like message queue brokers like RabbitMQ or Nets, which we want to support. Some redirect operator that's already in place, but again here, another abstraction layer, more generic enterprise search like Solar is very often deployed. And also more and more front end, like if you have SPAs or stuff like that that you want to run, we also make it easier for you here. So we have the operator doing all the, let's say, like groundwork in the basement, and you just need to build and deploy your application here. The important point here is it's all like, as I said, abstraction, right? That's cool for us because also we still aim to be agnostic. So if we see one product is dying or is not supported anymore, as we just see, we can easily switch. We have the definition in the CRs or for the CI, so we can also ensure that we have follow-up, a successor, and migrate it as smoothly as possible over without needing you to interact too much. One thing I want to focus on is the imaging, and also here again, please focus on the right side where it says pass hosting, because I think that's the normal DX Cloud way if you want to use the imaging via us. So in the end, if you come in here as the user and you have some image resource somewhere, maybe on the bucket, usually it is, on the cloud storage bucket, you can access that through, we host the image URL for you, we use the caching, and we set it up for you, and all that you need to do is in the end either via the cockpit or via Magnolia in the DX Cloud deployment, configure that via the headers, or headers in the end that is configuring the whole stuff. Plus, of course, we have the IDP integration. So any JWT-based authentication is, of course, then also supported in case needed. The new and interesting part is, what if you're on-prem, for example, or for whatever reason you said, hey, I want to have an image service for Magnolia, but I do not want to have the full package. So this is where the SaaS hosting comes in here. So we have an API gateway already. It's already running. It's a Cornwall we use. And there is a kind of a similar way. So we have an optional CDN that you can bring or not, and then forward basically to a hosted address we have. So you just refer on your assets to this address basically, and then we have the same thing also with a hosted image cache for you with all the security involved. And again, it's all about setting them on the HTTP side with headers and auth headers if you need it. So now we zoom out again. Last but not least, this is like the full picture a bit. And it's also like, what we basically want to show here is like, there's like, Magnolia DX Core is of course the big and important piece, but we wrap a whole stuff around it, right? You know probably the CDN, you know the IDP already, which of course we're also getting leveraged here. You know the Cloud Cockpit, but in the end, all of these kind of things are controlled by the operators. And what I want to say here is Magnolia proxy and gateway. This is also something we will definitely leverage because we see, especially now, this Ingress migration, there's maybe some things which would be smarter if we put these decisions down into the cluster or asset with some sort of operator. So we are more independent, we can control it more. And yeah, in the end, like can do better support for you, but also make your life easier in the end because we take a lot of burdens from you. And I don't know, the asset storage picture is not somehow working, but you get the point here. Good. Hey, that's it from me. I'm from Lucas. So thank you for your attention. Any question?
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. So, yeah, do we have any questions for the guys? While you're thinking, I have one, Seb. You both presented like a lot of new capabilities or improved capabilities on the cloud platform. I'm sure people are wondering how can they get those, or when, and how.
Good. I mean, you can also follow up, but in the end, these are all coming from use cases, right? It's nothing that we just sit there in the laboratory and say, oh, we should do that and that. Maybe sometimes we do, but usually it's coming from use cases. So a part of that is also out already. For example, the database operator is out there for quite a while, the front-end one as well. So in the end, it's a bit of adoption, and then we can also see and also prioritize what you need and also maybe what features we are lacking in these kind of new structures we are having. Where do we need to extend our operators, our CRs, our definitions? So yeah, on demand.
And so people should let you know if they're excited about one of the other topics, right?
Lucas is nodding, so it's right.
Okay, then again, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
And yeah.